In this video, I'm going to show you how to manage account transfers in Mvelopes. The training objective for this video is to learn how to process the three different types of account transfers. Depending on the types of accounts you are managing in Mvelopes, you will run into one or more of these types of account transfers. Account transfers between two online accounts are those types of accounts for which we're downloading transactions for you. Account transfers between one online and one offline account. And finally, account transfers between two offline accounts, such as those used for tracking cash. It is important to define an account-to-account transfer. In Mvelopes, an account-to-account transfer is any movement of funds from one spending account to another. Spending accounts are any accounts displayed in the spending accounts register, such as the ones listed in the example on your screen. Notice the account types can be cash, checking accounts, lines of credit, savings accounts, and even credit cards. Payments to loans, mortgages, or transfers to investment accounts are not account-to-account transfers in our system because you cannot spend from these types of accounts. Now let's talk about transfers between two online accounts. Anytime you move money between two online accounts, such as transferring funds from checking to savings, you will receive two transactions in your new transactions folder. You'll receive the payment from the source account, also referred to as a debit, and you'll also receive a deposit to the destination account, also referred to as the credit. To assign the transactions, simply drag and drop both of them into either the account transfers or credit card payments system envelopes. You'll use the account transfers system envelope when you're making a transfer between two deposit accounts, such as savings and checking, and you'll want to use the credit card payments envelope when you're making a payment to a credit card or a line of credit. Now, credit card repayment instructions are provided in greater detail in the Managing Credit Cards video, so if that's the information you're looking for, I'd recommend watching that video instead. Also, the next step is to transfer funds from one envelope to another if the purpose of the money you've transferred has changed. Now I'll jump into a live Mvelopes account and show you an example of an account-to-account transfer between two deposit accounts. Notice that we have two transactions reflecting the transfer of $100 from my checking to my savings. Here's the payment from checking, and here's the deposit to the savings account. Remember, to process these transactions, you want to assign both of them into the account transfer system envelope. So first, I'll assign the payment transaction. Notice that after I assign just the payment, account transfers is at a negative $100 value. This is my reminder that I'm waiting to assign the other half, or the deposit side of that transaction. So I'll assign that next. Since the two transactions involved here are equal distance from zero, they cancel each other out, and account transfers is now at zero. However, notice that all that happened was I moved $100 from checking to savings in the register. That did not change anything in the envelopes because that money was already there to begin with. It was already somewhere in my envelopes. So what I need to do now is perform an envelope-to-envelope transfer to reflect the assignment of funds. So I need to put $100 into my savings envelope. Where I decide to take it from is my choice. I can't fund it because I don't have any money sitting in my income cash pool. So let's see. In this example, we'll take $100 out of clothing and transfer it into our savings envelope. So now we're done. The balance of our savings envelope matches the balance of the actual account. And that completes my example of an account-to-account transfer between two online accounts. Transferring funds from an online account to an offline account is sometimes required if you're managing cash in envelopes or other offline deposit accounts. In this situation, you'll only receive either a payment or a deposit from the online account in your new transactions register. Since an offline account will never receive transactions on its own, we need to create the transfer manually from the pending transactions register. Once we create the transfer manually, the system will create a matching transaction for us in the pending transactions register that will be a duplicate of the transaction downloaded from our financial institution's website in the new transactions section. We need to match this transaction up with its online counterpart to avoid posting a single transaction to our account twice. If necessary, we may also need to perform an envelope-to-envelope transfer if the purpose of the funds transferred have changed. Now let me show you an example of a transfer from a checking account, which is online, to an offline cash account to demonstrate how this works. Notice that I have an ATM withdrawal from the checking account for the amount of $40. To process this as an account-to-account transfer from the checking account to Ryan's offline cash account, first we'll click on Account Transfer down here in the Pending Transactions Register, and we'll recreate this transfer. The source account is 1 My Checking. Transfer 2 is Cash Ryan. This happened on November 5th. The amount's $40, and I can put a note if I'd like. Now once I click OK, notice the transfer happens immediately. The value of my checking account has decreased by $40, and the value of Cash Ryan has increased by $40. But I'm not done yet. I have a pending transaction at the bottom. If you look at it, it appears to be the same transaction that came in from the bank. Same date, similar description, ATM withdrawal is an account-to-account transfer to Cash Ryan. Same payment value of $40 from the same account. So I highlight both of them and click Match. So now I've cleared those transactions, and in this situation Ryan does have an envelope that he's using to represent the money in his offline cash account. So notice that just because I performed an account-to-account transfer, that did not touch the envelope side. So I need to perform an envelope-to-envelope transfer and decide where I'm going to transfer $40 from to place in Ryan's spending envelope. Now in this example, I'll take the money away from entertainment. So I'll highlight entertainment, click transfer. Transfer 2 again is spending Ryan. It's $40. So now the value of spending Ryan equals $60, which is the value of the actual account. That completes my example of a transfer between an online checking account and an offline cash account. And now on to the final type of account-to-account transfer in our system, transfers between two offline accounts. You'll find this situation very similar to our previous example. Since both accounts involved in the transfer are offline accounts, no new transactions will post reflecting the transfer activity. You'll need to create an account-to-account transfer manually from the Pending Transactions Register, and then simply perform an envelope-to-envelope transfer if the purpose of the funds have changed. Now, I'm going to show you an example of transferring funds from one offline cash account to another offline cash account. In this example, let's say that Ryan wants to give Christine $40 and reflect that in envelopes. Click on Account Transfer in the Pending Transactions Register. We'll leave the transaction dated for today. So transfer from is Cash Ryan to Cash Christine in the amount of $40. Now because this is strictly between two offline accounts, no transactions will appear in pending transactions because there's nothing to match it up to. If you look in the spending accounts register, that transfer happened immediately. Now the next step, because Ryan and Christine do maintain envelopes to represent the money in their wallet, let's go ahead and perform a matching transfer up in the envelopes window frame. So I'll highlight spending Ryan, hit transfer, and do a matching transfer here. So transfer to spending Christine. We'll leave it dated for today, and it's $40. And that is all there is to it. That is an account-to-account transfer between two offline cash accounts. And that concludes our video. Thanks for watching.